that over.
I turned this off so I would remember to tell you, if you could, just turn your cell phone off so that it doesn't ring. My favorite thing is that we had an author here just a few weeks ago who said, please turn your cell phones off. She immediately started reading, and her own cell phone went off, which I thought was good. Tonight, for those of you who haven't been here before, we do a number of readings here at this store, some at our other locations as well. And we'd like you always to find out about what's going on. So please go to booksandbooks.com and enter your email address so that you can join our email mailing list. And I promise you there will be no entity on earth that sends you more emails than us. We send a lot of emails because we think that you want to know what's going on. As well as author events, we also have a book cafe which you're welcome to partake of afterwards. But I have to say that we do a lot of events here at the store, but this is one that I pointed to for a long time because we've been in business a long time, and Jim Ellroy is someone who all of us here at Books and Books have admired and fancied his work for a long, long time. And the development of our store is also sort of parallel development of his career. He's been here a number of different times. And not only me as the owner of the store, but our staff tends to be big James Ellroy fans too. And I want to bring up one of our managers, Steve Moss, who's a big fan, who's going to be giving a bit of a more formal introduction. But I personally want to welcome Jim and tell him how glad that we were that he's here tonight with us. Steve, you want to come on up?
Thank you, Mitchell. I appreciate that. James Ellroy claims to have been turned on to crime fiction by the Hardy Boys. At the age of 10, his father bought him Jack Webb's The Badge, A History of the LAPD. He became obsessed with the book and studied it repeatedly. In this book, he discovered the story of the Black Dahlia, as well as cops and crime figures he would later write about for the LA Quartet. Several of Ellroy's books have been adapted to film, including Blood on the Moon, adapted as Cop, LA Confidential, my personal favorite, Brown's Requiem, Killer on the Road, Silent Terror, adapted as Stay Clean, and The Black Dahlia. Mr. Ellroy is a self-described hermit who possesses very technological amenities, including television, and never reads any books by other authors, aside from Joseph Wambaugh's The Onion Field, for fear that they might influence his own. His work has earned Ellroy the nickname of the Demon Dog of American crime fiction. And if I could just take a second, I know you've been waiting, I appreciate your patience. Something that's indicative of Mr. Ellroy's thinking along the lines of film noir. Of course, I'm not quite sure who this picture is of. The interview from the Paris Review says, "You said film noir hasn't influenced your writing, but you watched a lot of it in your formative years, and you say you were born and raised in the heart of the film noir culture." Ellroy responds, "I dig film noir. The great theme of film noir is, you're fucked. There's a very few fine films, Double Indemnity, Sunset Boulevard, and of course, Out of the Past. Robert Mitchum sees Jane Greer in Acapulco, and he knows. She sees him, and he knows. He's passive, inert, but very resourceful. She's murderous and altogether monstrous. He just wants to forfeit to a woman, to give up his masculinity. She wants to be enveloped in her masculine side. They each want the other. When film noir is deeply about that, it can be very powerful." Would you please give your warmest Books and Books welcome to Mr. James Ellroy.
T.S. Eliot wrote, "If you came this way, starting from anywhere, at any time and in any season, it would always be the same. You would have to put off sense and notion. You are not here to instruct yourself or to inform curiosity or to carry report. You are here to kneel where prayer has been proven valid." And for me, James Ellroy, the demon dog of American literature. What better place to kneel in prayer than the hallowed confines of a great bookstore? Anne Sexton wrote, my friend, I was born doing reference work in sin and born confessing it. This is what poems are, with mercy for the greedy. There the tongues wrangle, the world's pottage, the rat star. Tonight, I'm here to give you my wrangle, my pottage, and hitch you to my star. A.E. Housman wrote, clay lies still, but blood's a rover, breath's aware that will not keep. Up, lad, when the journey's over, there'll be time enough for sleep. Tonight I am here to talk to you about history, specifically the private nightmare of public policy. More specifically, the story of the human infrastructure of great public events. The epigraph for my new novel, Blood's a Rover, describes the moral exhaustion of bad men in love with strong women. This book is unique in even my unique pantheon. It is a story of ideals at war and the extremity of love. It is a story of revolution. It is a story of deep conversion of thought. It is my ultimate masterpiece. It precedes all my future masterpieces. It follows all my previous masterpieces. I have a deal for you tonight. If each and every one of you buys 10 copies of this book from Mitchell Kaplan's Books and Books, here's what you get. A front row seat in heaven where you'll meet God, me, the Alfred A. Knopf Borzoi, and you'll be able to have sex, disease-free, no adultery, with each and every human being that you lusted for while you were here on earth. You're a dumb motherfucker if you don't take this offer. Blood's a Rover is the concluding volume of my Underworld USA trilogy. Volume 1, American Tabloid, covers 1958 to 1963. It is largely the story of Jack Kennedy's rise and fall, and it was Time Magazine's Novel of the Year. 1995, would Time Magazine shit you? Maybe, maybe not. The second book in the trilogy, The Cold 6000, is my big book of the American 1960s. It's a New York Times notable book. Dig It, an LA Times best book of the year, with the New York Times and the LA Times shit you. Blood's a Rover is in every way my crowning glory. Tonight I will read 2 short excerpts, after which I would welcome the most invasively over-personal questions that each and every one of you peepers, prowlers, pederasts, pets, panty snippers, punks, and pimps has for me. Blood's a Rover. America! I window peeped for years of our history. It was one long mobile stakeout and kick the door in shakedown. I had a license to steal and a ticket to ride. I followed people. I bugged and tapped and caught big events and ellipses. I remained unknown. My surveillance links the then to the now in a never-before-revealed manner. I was there. My reportage is buttressed by credible hearsay and insider tattle. Massive paper trails provide verification. This book derives from stolen public files and usurped private journals. It is the sum of personal adventure and 40 years of scholarship. I am a literary executor and an agent provocateur. I did what I did and saw what I saw and learned my way through to the rest of the story. Scripture pure veracity and scandal rag content. That conjunction gives it its sizzle. You carry the seed of belief within you already. You recall the time this narrative captures, and since conspiracy, I am here to tell you that it is all true and not at all what you think. You will read with some reluctance and capitulate in the end. The following pages will force you to succumb. I am going to tell you everything. Chapter 2, Don Crutchfield, 6/15/68. Women! Two bevies walked by the lot. The first group looked like shop girls. They wore Ivy League threads and modified bouffants. The second group was pure hippie. They wore patched up jeans, peacenik shit, and long straight hair that swirled. They came and went. The wheelmen waved. The shop girls waved back. The hippie chicks flipped off the wheelmen. The wheelmen wolf called. The Shell Station lot, Beverly and Hayward. 4 pumps and a service bay office. 3 wheelmen sprawled in their sleds. Bobby Gallard had a Rocket Olds. Phil Irwin had a 409 Chevy. Crutch had a 65 GTO. He was the rookie wheelman. He had the boss ride. 390 Hurst 4-speed, Coon maroon paint. Bobby and Phil were midday blitzed on high-test vodka. Crutch was residual torqued on the girl show. Man, oh Manischewitz. He scanned the street for more walk-bys. Zilch, just some old heaves loping to shul. Back to the paper. Yawn! More jive on James Earl Ray and Sirhan. Snore! America grieves. Accused assassin's lair. Ray vibed pencil neck. Sirhan vibed towel head. Hey America, I got your grief swinging. Crutch flipped pages. He hit flyweights at the Forum and a grabber. Life magazine offers million scoots for Howard Hughes picks. Redhead walked by. Crutch waved at her. She scowled like he was a dog turd. Wheelmen emitted bad vibes. They were low rent and indigenously fucked up. They perched in the lot. They waited from work from skank private eyes and divorce lawyers. They tailed cheating spouses, kicked indoors, and took photos of the fools bawling. It was a high-risk, high-yucks job with female skin potential. Crutch was new to it. He wanted to groove. The job forever. The paper called Howard Hughes a billionaire recluse. Kutch got a brainstorm. He could starve himself down to bones and shimmy up a heat shaft. Snap! One Polaroid in vamoose. The lot dozed. Bobby Gallard skimmed beaver mags and slurped Smirnoff 100. Phil Irwin wiped his 409 with a chamois cloth. The lot dozed. No work. No walk-by coups. Gas station ennui. It was hot. It was humid. Crutch yawned and aimed the AC vent at his balls. That got him head tripping. Gas station blahs, adieu. He was 23. He got expelled from Hollywood High for camera stunts outside the girls' gym. His old man lived in a Goodwill box at Santa Anita. Crutch Sr. panhandled, bet all day, and ate pastrami burritos exclusive. His mom vanished on 6/18/55. Crutch was 10 then. She up and split and never returned. She sent him a Christmas card and a 5-spot. Every year, different postmarks, no return address. He built his own missing persons file. It filled up 4 big boxes. He killed time with it. He called around the country and ran PD checks, hospital checks, obit checks. He kicked off his quest in fucking junior high school. Nothing. Margaret Woodard Crutchfield was still stone gone. The wheelman gig fell on his head. It happened like this. He kept up with his high school pal Buzz Duber. Buzz shared his passion for pad prowls, soft prowls like this. Hancock Park, big dark houses, preppy schools' lairs. Knock, knock, nobody's home. Good. You enter undetectably, you carry a penlight, you dig some plush cribs. You walk through girls' bedrooms and exit with lingerie sets. He did it a few times with Buzz. He did it a lot by himself. Buzz's dad was Clyde Duber. Clyde was a big-time PI. He did divorce jobs and got celebs out of the shit. He installed college kids in left-wing groups and got them to rap out subversion. The fuzz popped Crutch on a panty prowl. They snagged him with some black lace undies and a sandwich he glommed from Sally Compton's fridge. Clyde bailed him out and got his record expunged. Clyde got him wheelman and chump surveillance gigs. Clyde said window peeping was kosher, but nixed B&E. Clyde said, kid, I will pay you to peep. Crutch had a flop at the Vivian Apartments. It was a walk-up dive just south of Paramount. Grips and stagehands lived there. Bit players turned lunchtime tricks in a jumbo mop closet. Crutch crammed all his shit into 2 small rooms. His file shit, his camera shit, his car shit, his bug and tap shit. Clyde taught him surveillance. He had phone cords and wire mounts up the yin-yang. He had the full run of Playboy magazine. He had Carcraft, back to 52. His wallpaper was 41 Playboy Playmates. He settled in for the night. He updated his notes on his mother's last known location. Christmas 67. Margaret Woodard Crutchfield writes from Des Moines. Every known records check, 0. Backtrack to 66. A Christmas card from Dubuque. Every in-between town, full records checks, 0. Crutch got antsy. Buzz was who knows where, blitzed on who knows what. Buzz had this mean streak that he lacked. Buzz carried a fake cop's badge and coerced head out of hookers. Fuck that. Holding it in was better. It was warm out. A summer storm brewed. Crutch took a drive. He circled up the Hollywood Boulevard and out to the Strip. He looked at people. The long-haired girls jazzed him, and the long-haired guys rubbed him wrong. He trawled for that 62 bird and Scotty's blowjob bandits. He saw 2 fags and a 61 bird, and no more. He drove east to Hancock Park. He cut his lights and perched at 2nd and Plymouth. That big Spanish house held him. Window glow flickered upstairs and down. He saw Chrissy in USC sweats, one glimpse and gone. He saw Donna tie her hair back in the kitchen. Buzz didn't get it. Nobody got it. That's why he never told anyone. It wasn't Chrissy Lund. It was always Donna Lund. And she was 53 years old. I'm listening. Swingers, huh? Thanks for coming out tonight. I realize you had options. You could have stayed home, tended your sex lives, your drug habits. You didn't. I'm happy you're here. Question?
You still want to write that book about the Wisconsin State Police?
No, fuck that shit. Anything that you read about me on the internet is bullshit. No, I'm not going to write the book about the Wisconsin State Police. You know why? There is no Wisconsin State Police. I would have had to make up a police agency from the ground up. No, that was them. This is now. Yes?
So the Los Angeles Police Force, the Rampart Division?
Right. It's a bunch of bullshit.
Have they been reading your books, though?
Yeah. Yeah, they dig my books, because I dig them. I dig LAPD. The Rampart scandal's a crock of shit.
It's that one
A
guy.
couple, hold on, don't interrupt. A couple of guys got popped with their hands in the cookie jar. They ratted out a whole division, almost bankrupt LAPD in the county of Los Angeles. A lot of very bad guys got kicked out of prison, came back, began perpetrating crimes all over again in Rampart Division. LAPD took it up the culo one more time. I love LAPD. I am the spokesman and apologist for LAPD, and I am the MC of the LAPD's Jack Webb Awards every year. September 12th this year, September 12th next year, $300, you can have a table. Hey, you gonna buy a book?
Harry Ball.
You bought a book? Did you buy a book?
Yeah, 3.
Okay, good. Woman taking pictures, you gonna buy a book?
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, you bet. Fucking flashlight.
What made you decide to write My Dark Places? You seem sort of private, and that's a very personal book. And
On an exhibitionist. You right? Haven't figured that one out yet. My Dark Places is my memoir about my mother's 1958 murder. I went out in 1994 and 1995, reinvestigated the case, with a retired LA County Sheriff's homicide detective named Bill Stoner. We did not find the guy. Read about the book in My Dark Places and look for my memoir, The Hilliker Curse, subtitled My Pursuit of Women, which Knopf will publish next year. Companion piece to My Dark Places.
Dedication on this book is to J.D., I think. And when you-
J.M.
J.M., sorry.
Yeah.
And when you signed my book earlier, you wrote from Joan.
It's a Fear Joan.
Fear Joan.
There's a character in this book named Joan Rosen Klein. The dedicatee of the book, J.M., a passionate relationship with in 05 and 06, is very much the inspiration for the character. That's all I'm going to say. That was them, this is them. Keep going.
You do your own research?
No. I do very little research. I make this shit up. I hire researchers who compile fact sheets and chronologies so that I will not write myself into error. History has been very, very kind to me. A large part of Bloods of Rover takes place in Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Haiti is a perilous place for travelers. Nobody should go there. The DR is a drag. I sent somebody. She came back with slides, maps, drawings, notes. It was sufficient. Make it up. It's got the F spine for fiction. Yes?
You didn't go there, but can you say a little bit more about the resonance of place? You know, you allude to place so much in your work, and is it a place in your head or a place, you know?
Well, I got lucky because my parents hatched me in LA, the film noir epicenter at the height of the film noir era. Geography is destiny. If my parents had hatched me in Moose Farm, Montana, Antelope Pass, Arkansas, or Dog Dick, Delaware, I would probably write books about those locales. Just got lucky. That stated, my last 3 novels, the Underworld USA trilogy, American Tabloid, Cold 6000, now Bloods of Rover, largely set outside of Los Angeles. I live there now. It's where I go when I get divorced.
I came here.
Yeah, it's too fucking hot here. The air conditioning at the hotel is too cold.
I read somewhere online about a couple of your books, maybe the first 2 in this series being sold to HBO. Is
They're
it?
optioned to HBO. They've been optioned to HBO for many years. They will never be made into HBO TV series. You know what? The film option or the TV option is to the released movie or the aired television series what the FIS is to the 50th monogamous anniversary. Dinero. Money is the gift that no one ever returns. The size large always fits, and the color green is always flattering. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going. Yes?
Why don't you narrate your own audiobooks?
I did the abridged version of my memoir, My Dark Places. It's all narrative. The difficult part of reading audiobooks is differentiating voices. There are 125 characters plus exposition in this book. Men, women, old, young, across the racial spectrum. I can't differentiate voices for shit, which is why, and I'm a wonderful reader of my own work, I only read exposition. Craig Wasson, who did a wonderful job on Cold 6000, reads the audiobook unabridged of Bloods of Rover. It's an audiobook for the whole family. You name your fucking family, it's the man.
Have you ever met any of the figures that you've written about?
No, they're all dead. Yeah. That's
When
why I
they're
can
alive.
defame them at will. Yeah.
How do you defame whiskey?
Are you a fan of Liska?
Yeah.
You make him cooler than he was,
Yeah.
and more engaging than he was in real life. There's some funny lines in this book. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The funniest line in The Cold Sixth Sense, the most outrageous construction, is when Sonny Liston meets Sirhan Sirhan and says, Ahab the Arab, where's your camel, motherfucker? Now that is funny shit. Even people with no sense of humor. You want me to say it again? You hear some funny shit in this book? Okay, encore reading. What's an encore reading? Encore reading. This is some good shit. You're gonna dig it. Encore reading. The first one of this book to it. Where is it? Red Fox said, Scotty was fucking a porcupine. I gots to tell you motherfuckers that it was a female porcupine, so I don't see nothing wrong with it. Yuck, yuck. The crowd laughed, misty-eyed. Some coons off. Scotty, let's get zorched and mourn. The wheelman lot. Early Christmas lights and plaid bunting. Booze and jelly bean jar pharmaceuticals. You gots to love it. Crutch, Clyde, Buzz, Phil Irwin, and Chick Weiss. Milt Chargan on stage with Red and Junkie Monkey. Ex-Governor Pat Brown and numerous pigs. 14 Black Panthers. A colored heist guy turned TV evangelist. Frau Scotty and 6 of his girlfriends. Red Fox said, Scotty popped my ass for a chump change to 11. I stole 6 moon pies, 4 bags of pork cracklings, a case of T-Bird, and 10 cartons of cool king size. Scotty saw that I had soul and let me live. We consumed all that motherfucking shit on the premises and went out looking for bitches. Yuck, yuck. We're grief struck, but it's fun. Frau Scotty passed a joint to girlfriend number 4. Girlfriend number 5 nibbled a hash brownie. Red Fox said, Scotty was searching for this brother named Cleophas. He was a stick-up man and a booty bandit. He was robbing liquor stores with a sawed-off shotgun and banging Scotty's bitches with a piece of hard black steel 10 times that size. Girlfriend number 3 roared. Girlfriend number 2 hugged Frau Scotty. Phil Irwin popped a Quaalude in the air. Chick Weiss caught it with his mouth. Governor Pat Brown blinked. Why am I here? President Obama has asked me to come and read this excerpt at the White House with Oprah Winfrey. I'm considering it. Yeah! Come on, ask me some more questions. Yes?
Prowling? Oh.
I was at my doctor's office and started reading a piece that you'd written about a girl's death, and I didn't get too far into it, and I was kind of wondering what that was all about.
Lily Burke was a 17-year-old girl that I met once. Hey, only 3 walkouts, not bad. Lily Burke was murdered 2 months ago, and I only met her once. Her parents are friends of mine. It's a commemorative piece about Lily. The guy who killed her was captured immediately. Horrible crime. Yes.
What do you think of Governor Arno?
Of who?
Governor Arno?
The Governor.
Who's Governor Arno?
Schwarzenegger.
Oh, Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger. I don't know. I don't follow popular culture. I have no opinion on popular culture. This book is steeped in 1968 to 1972. I don't have a cell phone. I don't have a computer. I don't go to movies. I don't watch television. I ignore the culture. The better to cram the frame of my consciousness with 1968 to 1972 America so that I might serve God and all of you by writing great period novels. The outside world is a horrible intrusion to me. I ignore it to the best of my ability. Yes?
Speaking of which, I've seen you in 2 documentaries.
There's 8, but...
Oh, really?
They tend to be repetitive.
I've only seen you in Bizarre Bazaar.
Bizarre Bazaar is bad.
Yeah.
Right, it's bad.
And,
it's not a documentary about me. No.
And this thing was called Seen a Murder. It was a documentary I saw in the film festival of Boston. This woman, her father was killed, and she went to go investigate. And you were in it briefly, talking about cold cases. How many other documentaries?
There's 8 Ellroy documentaries.
Okay.
Yeah.
About you? Or?
Yeah, about me. True Hollywood Story. There's a German one, there's a British one, there's a French one. We're on Showtime. I'm doing another one later this year. There'll be 9. 9. To match your schlong. 9.
Since you haven't got a computer, are you a longhand man or a typewriter man?
No. I block print. I have an assistant who goes on Facebook for me. She types in the responses to booksellers. Block print, all capitals.
So we can friend you?
You can friend me, yeah. Because you are rejected. Depends on how many books you've done. I see your picture, I'm a rejecter. Yes, one in the back.
I like thinking of things as a historical novel that are they're within a certain range, but they're out of a certain range, which is what you're talking about. And I actually think Sir Walter Scott said you had to go back 40 years.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
I believe that. I believe that. Yeah. I was bombed during the era that I write about. I dimly recall history going on around.
So if somebody's sort of bombed right now, what should they dimly be paying attention to? Question, for future reference.
First of all, you have to possess genius.
That's
and I do. I spent a lot of time lying in the dark, brooding. I have one artistic hero above all others, not even a writer. Most fathomable genius ever created by civilization. If anyone can name this individual, you get a free book.
Beethoven.
That's correct. You knew, right?
Yeah.
Did you read somewhere about me?
Yeah.
I have pictures of Beethoven everywhere. Picture Beethoven over my bed. I think about Beethoven a great deal. A great deal. I am the Beethoven of the novel of realism. Yes?
I was just curious about how well your books are, how are your books received overseas, and how do they translate? I mean, do they translate from?
Yeah, they translate them all right. My second ex-wife, Helen Canode, a novelist herself, and my very best friend, is published by the same publisher as I am in France, and she says they're wonderful translations. You cannot go out and learn a foreign language just to vouchsafe a translation of your books. You just have to let go at some point. Yes?
You believe in rehabilitation?
Yeah, I believe in rehabilitation. I also believe in punishment. Yes.
How close is the Crutchfield character to 1960s your Los Angeles?
Don Crutchfield, whose viewpoint I read to you from, is a real-life person, and a very good friend of mine. He can be found on the internet. Go on pi4stars.com. He's a real-life private eye. We have a deal, financial deal, friendship deal. I have him in this book doing things he really did, a lot of things he didn't. Read the book, You tell me what's real, what's not. The one question that Crutchfield and I will not answer. What's real, what's not.
Who's Pete Bonder out there?
Nobody. My head came out of my gourd.
How many times have you been married and do you have any children?
I've been married twice. I have no children.
Your next novel?
I'm not talking about it. I have a memoir coming out next year from Alfred A. It's called Philipper Curse. It's subtitled My Pursuit of Women. It's about women and me. It's a companion piece to my memoir, My Dark Places. Look for it next fall. Yeah.
Do I need to read the first two books before I read this one?
No. No, the camera pointed in my face all the time. You need
Sorry.
to buy this book at the bookstore. Ditto the woman taking the pictures. This woman taking the pictures and the flashbulbs going off. She bought the book. All right. Several more questions. Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
How did Dragnet influence you when you were a kid? Assuming that you did.
Dragnet. I read the book The Badge that Jack Webb published in 1958. That got me hipped on the Black Dahlia murder case. Many years later, I wrote the novel Black Dahlia.
Did you listen to the radio series?
No.
Just the TV, or
just the TV show? The early incarnation.
Well, all the radio shows are on Internet Archive, right. And I've been listening to them at work and instead of working, and I can visualize it better because of reading LA Confidential.
Wait till you read Blood's a Rose.
Yeah.
Imagine what you'll be able to visualize.
Well, I remember Life magazine, so.
So what? So what? A couple more questions. Come on, come on.
When your books turn into films, do you have any involvement? Do you
No,
care?
No, I don't give a shit. Money is the gift that no one ever returns. The size large always fits, and the color green is always flattering.
Do they ever ask you to consult, to do anything?
No. They do what they damn well please. I became very friendly with Curtis Hanson and Brian Helgeland, who adopted LA Confidential for the screen. Curtis Hanson went on to direct it. I have friends in the film biz, some good, some more talented than the others. You know what? They give you money for nothing. It may create a significant or somewhat less than significant readership for the book. It may not. When's the last time somebody paid you for work you've already done?
So how did you feel about that film?
LA Confidential? It's a wonderful movie. It is the best Ellroy light that money can buy. Yes?
How come your books translate so not great on film?
They're not meant to be motion pictures. Their specific strengths, their density, their period settings, their complexity, the overall plot of the books. They're not meant to be movies. They're not written to be movies. They're not written with any eye towards becoming motion pictures. They're pure novels.
Who do you read and who did you read?
I don't read any movies. The key book in my evolution as a writer is Don DeLillo's novel Libra, his story of the Kennedy assassination, largely seen through the eyes of Lee Harvey Oswald. It is in every way the genesis of the Underworld USA trilogy, and I credit Mr. DeLillo for attribution every chance I get.
And so you, was it Street Kings and Dark Blue? You worked on the stories for those?
I wrote the original drafts of the screenplay. Other people wrote behind me. I was compensated. I was compensated.
Anything else?
I was compensated. I was compensated. Yeah, I've written 7 other movies that haven't been made. A couple TV shows. I was compensated. Money is the gift that no one ever returns. The size large always fits. The color green is always flattering. Yes?
Yeah, do you have any thoughts on the upcoming Nobel Prize in Literature? Who would win it?
Me.
working on it, the color green.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Go buy a book.
Go buy a book, yeah.
Thank you, Jim. This is great. Sign books. Yeah, we're going to sign books here. We have books up front, and Jim will be here signing. Thank you all for coming.